From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
To have, someone take their lives over that while they're trying to protect the community, protect the environment is really disturbing and really sad.
Loss felt across state lines. MTN News is on the ground in Coeur d'Alene, learning more after a man opened fire on firefighters. The latest details from those who were nearby.
We're negotiating with ByteDance to acquire American TikTok.
Racing against the clock for TikTok, how a Wyoming buyer is doubling down on saving it. Plus,
it's a great hands-on way of a refresher or learning new techniques.
Simulation in Motion, what a nonprofit is doing to bring life-saving skills to rural Montana. Those stories and much more coming up in the next hour. Good morning and welcome back to Montana This Morning on this Tuesday, July 1st. Miller, happy July.
Yes.
Welcome.
And hello, Haley.
Hello.
Here for the rest of the week. We'll have some fun.
Can't wait.
Boy, you ready for some? Yeah, I know you like the warm.
I love the warm weather.
Well, you're going to get a good dose of it the next couple of days. Maybe by tomorrow, some triple digits if you're heading over to eastern Montana. Very, very hot. Yesterday, pretty seasonal with our highs and lows. 85 for the high, our low of 54. Bit breezy yesterday, and we'll still see some breezy conditions today. That breeze will help blow in some of that wildfire smoke out of the west-southwest. Air quality should be okay for most, but if you do have any respiratory ailments, just monitor the quality before you head outside. Could be hazy at times. We wrapped up June on a dry note in the hole for the month, but for the year, we're still in great shape concerning drought conditions here in Yellowstone County and surrounding areas. Temperatures right now in the 50s and 60s as we get up and at them. Here in Billings, well, that's a great shot there. Bozeman Pass, man, one of our new cameras there. Just excited about that. It's going to be very helpful during winter seasons and whatnot too, to be able to show that off for you. 58 right now at the airport. Humidity at 60%. Dew point temperatures at 44 degrees. Winds out the southwest at about 8 miles an hour. Here's your day planner. By lunchtime today, into the mid 80s with lots of sunshine. By the time we head home, into the mid 90s with our high of 94. Yeah, there are your daytime highs today. It's going to be hot, even hotter tomorrow, but it doesn't last. I'll explain why with the main forecast coming up.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Miller.
Okay.
And we begin our continuing coverage of the situation in Coeur d'Alene. The suspect who allegedly ambushed several firefighters in Idaho over the weekend by intentionally setting a fire has been identified. 2 firefighters were killed in the incident and a third was seriously injured. The suspect also died. Naomi Ruckham tells us more about the suspect, the victims, and the ongoing fight to put out the flames.
The Coeur d'Alene, Idaho community lined the streets to support their local fire department after the horrific shooting that left 2 firefighters dead.
These are our neighbors and our sons and our brothers and our friends.
Those firefighters have now been identified as 42-year-old Battalion Chief Frank Harwood and 52-year-old Battalion Chief John Morrison. Firehouse engineer Dave Tisdall was also critically injured in what police are calling an ambush. They say 20-year-old Wes Rowley set the fire to lure first responders up Canfield Mountain, had contact and a brief discussion with the crews, and then started shooting over several hours, at one point shooting at authorities from within a tree.
Law enforcement right now, there's an active shooter zone. Everybody shot up here. Law enforcement, code 3 now up here.
Investigators say it appears Rowley shot and killed himself during the exchange. They are now poring over his social media in search of a possible motive, but say at one point he had aspirations of becoming a firefighter himself. Rowley's family released a statement saying, "Our hearts and spirits are broken for the lost and hurting, and for our own loss as well." His former roommate is left in shock.
I can't believe what he did. I mean, that is an absolutely disgusting thing to do.
Authorities say the suspect used a flint starter to ignite the blaze, which is still burning in the steep terrain. Naomi Ruckham, CBS News.
Family of the injured firefighters say he has had 2 successful surgeries and is currently surrounded by family and able to open his eyes. Police say the suspect had 5 very minor encounters with law enforcement prior to the incident, but had no criminal history. It's a devastating tragedy, shaking Coeur d'Alene to its core. This morning, a former city firefighter who once stood beside the victims is breaking his silence. Our MTN crew is on the ground, and Emily Brown starts our coverage.
I'm here in Coeur d'Alene at Cherry Hill Park's Fallen Heroes Plaza, where a memorial is being set up to honor those firefighters lost in Sunday's shooting.
but a loss.
Jody and Glenn Lauper were out on the lake when they saw a plume of smoke. What came after would prove tragic.
Come to find out through the information on the phones that shots were fired, firemen down, and it just made us sick. Couldn't believe it.
Glenn spent 35 years in the fire service. About half of that was with the Coeur d'Alene Fire Department. He says hearing that people he worked with closely were killed was unimaginable.
I knew him. I worked with him. Highly talented, dedicated professionals.
Years ago, Glenn even helped establish the Fallen Heroes Plaza.
Kenny Gabriel was the fire chief at the time. He had a vision to have a place to honor our firefighters that have fallen before. There's a little park in front of us where he wanted people to be able to come and process and think and reflect and hear children laughing.
To show respect for first responders who put their lives on the line, the Laupers decided to come to the memorial and place flowers at the boot prints of the fallen firefighter statue.
And all the good firemen that we do have in our community that keep us safe. It's just a good place to come.
As Coeur d'Alene begins the grieving process, the Laupers know the community will always have a place to connect with firefighters no longer with us.
We continue to live here. It still will be a great place. We have some hard times to get through.
For anyone looking to honor the fallen firefighters, you can come to Cherry Hill Park. It's right off of 15th Street. In Coeur d'Alene, Emily Brown, MTN News.
Emily, thank you. A Billings couple who was spending the summer in Coeur d'Alene were on the road when the fire and shots erupted. As they were driving, they witnessed almost a dozen police cars speed past southbound on Highway 95, having no idea of the fear playing out just a few miles away. As details of the shooting came to light, a Billings woman says she couldn't help but think of all the families and community members that will forever be shaken from that day.
It's just such a tragedy, and the families, your heart goes out to them, all of their coworkers. That's a tight group of people. Firefighters are a family.
She says she is shocked that this could happen in Coeur d'Alene, but is thankful for all the first responders and is hopeful that this will never happen again. Even hundreds of miles away, the loss is deeply felt here in Billings. Local firefighters who face danger every day are grappling with the tragedy, one that will stay with them for years to come. With the impact here at home, here's Hannah Pettiferi.
Profound sadness.
That's the emotion many first responders are feeling after two firefighters were shot and killed after an ambush in Idaho.
Whether it's law enforcement or fire or EMS, just about anybody finds it hard to prepare to be ambushed.
Billings Fire Battalion Chief Jason Lyon knows events like this can happen.
It does happen, once, twice a year to firefighters across the country.
And the heartbreak that comes along with it.
To have, someone take their lives over that while they're trying to protect the community, protect the environment is really disturbing and really sad.
Alec Klinger, who works out of Station 1, knows there are different situations to prepare for. But 9 months into his job, he says he never considered this.
You prepare for certain situations, but that one might not be one that you really consider initially when you're going on a call.
He says the shooting in Idaho is shocking, but it's also a reminder about situational awareness.
It's just surprising because it was directed towards first responders. It does make you aware that things like that can happen.
While Billings is hundreds of miles away, firefighters will carry this chilling incident in their minds on their future calls.
It's really hard to respond to a thinking enemy that's, intent on hurting you.
But an event like this won't prevent firefighters from responding to calls.
It's so rare that it doesn't really impact the way we do business on a daily basis.
But it will help them be more prepared.
We do have PPE to help protect us, but it's not something that people use on a daily basis unless we know we're going to an incident that might require that, which obviously these firefighters didn't.
In Billings, Hannah Pettiferi, MTN News.
Hannah, thank you. And another Idaho story making national headlines. 30-year-old Brian Koberger, accused of fatally stabbing 4 University of Idaho students to death in 2022, has agreed to a plea deal. The deal consists of Koberger pleading guilty to 4 counts of murder in exchange for the government not pursuing the death penalty. A hearing is scheduled for Wednesday. He was slated to go to trial in August, with prosecutors indicating they would recommend the death penalty. Koberger, previously a PhD student of criminology at the University of Washington, was charged with the killings in January of 2023. New on Montana this morning, the Sweetgrass County Sheriff says a Billings fugitive wanted on a federal warrant is now back in custody. You might have noticed more law enforcement in the Big Timber area than usual. In a Facebook post, the sheriff says his deputies were asked to help the U.S. Marshals Service to apprehend someone with a federal warrant. Agencies combed the area, starting at the cemetery. The sheriff says it was found out through talking with a resident that the fugitive, Cedric Leiby, had been dropped off at the front store and gas station. Deputies then got calls about a man fitting Leiby's description, wet from the waist down, now in the downtown area. He was then taken into custody without incident. Leiby was sentenced in 2012 to federal prison on conspiracy to distribute meth charges, among others. And back here in Billings, a crash involving a Billings school bus sent emergency crews rushing to the Heights Monday morning. It happened around 8 a.m. yesterday at Wicks Lane and Governors Boulevard when a bus collided with an SUV. Billings police say one child was on board but wasn't hurt. One person in the SUV suffered minor injuries. The cause of the crash is still under investigation. And another Monday highway incident. This was the scene just west of Reed Point yesterday. The pickup erupting in flames off of Interstate 90 as traffic continued to drive by. It is unknown what caused the fire. A Wyoming man is continuing his push to save TikTok, with time once again running out. Reed Reisner says his offer of nearly $48 billion is on the table as he hopes to purchase the entire platform from China. It comes after President Donald Trump announced another extension more than a week ago. Our David J. has more as Reisner looks to save the app before the clock runs out.
Shark Tank's Kevin O'Leary and YouTuber Mr. Beast have been some of the companies reportedly making bids, along with Wyoming-based Reisner Media.
We're ready to sign the deal today.
Reed Reisner of Omnivest Financial in Casper says Reisner Media's $47.45 billion offer is the leading bid toward getting China's ByteDance to sell TikTok.
So either it's an actual $50 billion transaction and money means something, or it's espionage, and we say stop stonewalling.
Reisner Media recently announced equity partnerships with Goodwin Procter LLP, adding legal expertise in acquisitions, and Adelaide, a technology and media company.
We spent a lot of time working to put together the investor base for this transaction, and also effort in communication with the White House.
Reisner says his group is the only one asking for the algorithm, which he says is vital in keeping users' personal data away from the Chinese Communist Party.
They are going to continue to use your data if you're on TikTok against you in very nefarious ways. They're going to control what your children are seeing on these apps. And our digital sovereignty is truly at stake.
Gordon G. Chang, a distinguished senior fellow at the Gatestone Institute, recently came to Montana and also talked about what he sees as a problem with China and TikTok.
China uses the curation algorithm. And that's what makes TikTok so addictive, because it knows its users. Well, China's been using the curation algorithm to propagate its narratives.
Reed Reisner has talked about putting the headquarters in Wyoming and recently spoke with South Dakota Governor Larry Roden. But he also says that some of the potential operations could be put right here in Montana.
We would love to see Montana join the fight here in these Intermountain West states and start leading the way. So you know what? You never know what's going to happen.
America and the 170 million in the country who use TikTok are part of the motivation in allowing the platform to continue in the United States.
There are 7.5 million small businesses currently using TikTok.
Reisner Media has been negotiating with the Chinese Communist Party's ByteDance for the last several months.
It's in the president's sole discretion to approve a transaction. So at the end of the day, it's going to be whichever deal he thinks is best for the country.
As soon as China allows them to sell and the CCP signs off on it, I think we have a deal.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.